All right, man. Running a little behind. What's going on, Kent State? It's Monday. It's 8 o'clock. Happy Veterans Day. I know y'all enjoyed the day off just like I did, man. Slept in, you know what I'm saying? Had me a good old time. Listen, man, I got a special guest in here with me today. My guy is here from LA visiting. You know, we linked up last fall, got some work in, you know what I'm saying? He had to make the move, but he's back around. If you're listening, you already know who he is. If you're not, I can't wait to introduce y'all to the one and only Manic Phase. Manic, say what's up to everybody, man.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on, y'all? All right, man. So I brought my homie in here today. Artist from Akron, out here in LA now, doing it big. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about who is Manic Phase for the listeners who don't know you.
Well, real talk. The name, I didn't even come up with a name. I had my homie from when I first got into music. My homie Derek, he had a band, and he was just tossing out some cool names for everything, and he just said something that was super dope. And at the time I was like 15. I was like, Manic Phase. Like, I didn't know what that meant, so I was like, yeah. And then I realized that with the depression side of it, but it I don't think the name has a lot of negative like meaning towards it. Like, I feel like when people hear it, they think I'm like some super depressed rapper or a super depressed artist, and I just think it's a cool name. I just thought it sounded dope.
Most def. So let's talk a little bit about you mentioned you were in a band, kind of coming up, and you were getting started that way. So what first kind of got you interested in music before you really started creating? Just as a fan, when did you start really listening to stuff, and kind of who kind of introduced you to music? Just enjoying the creativity and the art of music itself.
All right, so my family, I wouldn't say that we were like a musical household, because like no one really played instruments or anything. My sister, she was in the band, but when she was in high school, my older sister, but like I was listening to like Michael Jackson at an early age. Like, I love Michael Jackson. And then the first album that meant anything to me was Get Rich or Die Trying by 50 Cent. It's one of the greatest albums still to this day. Like, I could listen to it front to back. And that had one of the biggest influences for my rap music. What I liked was the Get Rich or Die Trying album, real talk.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's a great piece of work. I love what 50 was doing, man, for real. But so you kind of came up, listened to, like you said, Michael Jackson and just a little bit of the early 2000s hip hop wave. So what changed, in I would say like your teenage years that really got you started in creating music as an artist?
I was into a lot of rock music too. And the band originally that I talked about was like a rock band. I wouldn't say it was more. I brought they put me in to help like with songwriting and putting a rap aspect in at the time, because it was like we were trying to make it more of a Linkin Park type of thing. You feel me?
Yeah, most def.
And like Linkin Park was another huge early influencer, like for on what I thought music should sound like.
Sure.
And so like Linkin Park, System of a Down, even like Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy.
Yeah,
like,
most
those
definitely.
were still like huge for like that. I was trying to get into that type of rock music, and then I just slowly started working my way more and more into the rap scene, I guess.
Most definitely. So you came up listening to a lot of rock music, as you said, and now you've evolved kind of more into like a hip a hip hop artist. A lot of people don't want to call themselves a rapper because they don't want to limit, what they can do. And, the people that the people that haven't heard of you or haven't listened to your music don't really know that, you kind of can touch on both sides. You really have like, you have more of like a rap type of flow, and then you can also have like a melodic, like harmonizing type of sound. So for those of you who, have never heard of Manic Phase, I'm going to let him explain to you kind of what he does with his music and what like his style is, if you will.
Honestly, I don't have a style, I don't think. Because I think in every song, if you listen to me, I think I sound different in every song. And I love that about like how I mix my voice. Or recently, I've been having the boy, Thank You Dish. He's been doing like,
Big shout out to Dish.
Big shout out to Dish. He's the GOAT. Big shout out to Dish. He's been doing so much of the legwork because he can handle it all.
Most def.
Put the whole team on his back.
Most definitely.
But everything, I've just been sounding so. Every song I feel like I can be different, and I feel like if you have a certain type of style, and it's just like with the producer, like make a Drake type beat or like a J. Cole type beat or like a Young Thug type beat, and it's like you don't want to fall into that. And like
exactly.
all of these artists influence me, so then why not use something to, and then put my own little like flair on it also.
Exactly.
So why not like do that?
Most def, man. Most def. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Manic Phase is available on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Google Play, Amazon Music, SoundCloud,
everywhere. No excuses.
Every major streaming service. Make sure y'all go check him out. Let's talk a little bit about some of your works that you've done coming up and stuff that's happening and for the future. Let's talk about the Antidepressant album. You dropped that in 2015. That was kind of like your debut like project when you first kind of really wanted to start creating. So talk a little bit about that and just kind of what you did with it and what you think about it now looking back.
It was just a really crazy time like in my life. So I just like it from a span of graduating high school, and then my dad died, and then trying to figure out like who I was as a man, and then what I wanted to do in school, if I wanted to make music, if I wanted to do what I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I dropped it with my boy Derek at the time. Like, he produced it, who I was in the band with. And I just remember, like, dropping it, and I never listened to it again. Like, consistently. Because it was, like, it wasn't something I put my whole heart into. But I just felt like I needed to drop something at the time, like, because of expectations. And, like, it actually did, like, okay. Like, I mean, for me to be, like, some nobody guy, like, I made, like, some money off of it from people buying it off of iTunes and stuff. Apple Music wasn't a thing then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But it was a cool thing. It was a cool thing to get my feet wet.
Yeah.
With music and, like, having, like, building a discography and stuff like that.
Most def. So it's cool that you got to, kind of record and release your first project, get it out on major streaming services, like you said, get some money for it. So that really started, to kind of shape your image as an artist and kind of build the Manic Phase brand. So then in September of 2016, you went and dropped the Manic Phase EP. Let's talk a little bit about that, kind of tell people, what you think about that project and kind of how the sophomore project was just like a step up the ladder for you in your music.
Okay, so that was when I was at the University of Akron. Like, in that, my whole college experience, everything I might say about college, like, being bad or, like, I hated college, but I loved my experience at the University of Akron. And if I didn't go there, I wouldn't have figured out all the ups and downs with just life things and getting over things. And then me as a musician, and it was where I made, great relationships with people. I met so many other dope people, and then it taught me how to grind, and it taught me how to, just make music and, like, be the person I feel like I want to be. So the Manic Phase EP, I made it all, not even in Akron. It was during a summer break. I recorded, like, that whole thing in, like, a 2-week span period, just cranking it out in my boy's garage. And, like, the homies know our boy Josh, like, his garage is like a whole nother house.
Yeah.
Beside his house.
Right.
So it has its own bathroom, like a fridge, like a TV upstairs. It had speakers. Like, I was just up.
This is the spot.
And, like, I would just go to work, not go home, and just record off I just got Logic at that point. So it was just making stuff off Logic, standing up, freestyling some stuff, seeing it sound good, showing my homies, and then sending it back down. Had Butters come through, made the infamous PGT one
Banger.
of those nights. Oh,
Banger.
My God.
So let's talk about a little bit about how now that you've dropped 2 projects. This is kind of half first like year or two into your career. You dropped a couple projects and you kind of build a fan base for yourself, and you kind of move different as like an artist and an individual and as a creator. So talk about how you have been kind of since then, just like dropping singles and things like that, like little projects between this. So talk about a little bit about like what's newer in your discography lately.
I've been doing the whole numbers thing, and like where I'm just been dropping a whole bunch of random singles. Like if you notice on the Manic Phase EP, I used a lot of location names that had nothing to do with the actual title of or any of the words. From
So
the
why
songs.
why is that? Why'd you end up doing it that way?
Because I think song titles, like names, get so played out. Like I feel like you're sitting there sometimes, like thinking, "Oh, what's the hardest name we can do for this song?" And then you get so wrapped into like, "What's the name of that song?" And then you become, like a song, and then you become like a song title, and then like, it doesn't even just happen in like a mainstream level, but it happens in like a local level too, because there'd be like certain people I'm like, oh well, oh they made that song, but then you don't know anything else by that, and like I wanted people to be like, if they just have like these numbers, like, oh you can't assume what this song is about because it's a number as the title
Right.
of it.
Sure. Yeah.
And I don't know, I just think it's cool. It's just different.
So which numbers in order of when you release them do you have out right now that people can go check out?
Okay, so the first one was 8 with my boy PFV. Shout out PFV. He's helped me so much. He's a homie. That one dropped. Then I made 6. That was just, I wouldn't say like a throwaway song, but it was just like I haven't dropped something. It was just real talk. I had something, and like I think it was you when I was just playing some stuff, and you were like, bro, this is like cool. You should like do something with it. I'm like, I guess. And then 5, and then 9. The 9 just dropped in October, and that's like my whole different experimental 808s and heartbreaks vibey like type stuff. You feel me?
Most def. So 9 is the most recent song you dropped, but let's talk a little bit about the video that you just released. We're about to play this 9 record here in a little bit for y'all, give y'all a little taste of, some new Manic Phase. But let's talk about you just shot your first music video out there in LA and just dropped that. So let's talk about that.
My boy Mike McBride, also from Ohio, out here killing it in LA too. Trying to keep everything in house, or at least Ohio boys and stuff like that out in LA. We just linked up one time and was like, hey, let's shoot a video. All of it literally was like, all was within 3 blocks of my apartment in North Hollywood. I didn't feel like doing like, I don't know. I could have went to like the beach, and I could have went to like all that other stuff, but it's like, I feel like everyone sees that.
Yeah.
And there's way more to California than Venice. And
Absolutely.
There's way more to California than Santa Monica and like Rodeo and stuff like that. And I don't even know it all. Like I've been there for a few months, and I know nothing.
Absolutely. Still trying to figure it out.
Still trying to figure it all out.
Most definitely. We can't give y'all too much. Go and check it out right now. It's available right now. We're up in the streams on it, trying to get the views up. Go get that. The song is called 5 featuring Butters. Video available on YouTube right now. Make sure y'all go check it out. Without further, all right, y'all. That was 9 by Manic Phase. Hope y'all liked it. So talk about kind of how that song came together. How you were feeling and writing it and everything like that. How was the creative process flowing with the 9 record?
It's real talk the lamest story almost ever. It's so over dramatic for no reason.
I gotta hear it. Everyone wants to hear it. Come on.
All right, so this was all right. So me and my roommate at the time when I was staying in Akron, we got into a beef, and so that song was literally just about me
staying away,
just waking up, going to work, and then waiting until she went to work to go out to like make myself some toaster strudels or cook myself some eggs, and then go right back in my room and just watch some basketball, man. That's all it was.
No one can hurt me in my room.
I know. I just made it so dramatic. Just like,
hey,
the boy Dish was on that one too.
Yeah.
Did the beat, did all that. You know, it was crazy.
Absolutely, man. I never knew that story. So let's talk about this move to LA. We'll tap into that here in a little bit. But let's talk about kind of, what really inspired that, kind of where you went. So let's talk about, for those who know me, y'all know all about it. If y'all don't know either of us, then you're really out the loop. But most of you know what this is, or have at least heard of it. Let's talk a little bit about the network. I'll let you kind of explain it from your side, because I've told everybody. But let's talk about what the network was and how it kind of worked and everything like that.
Okay, so the network was like it was like a group that my brother Butters, it was him and his homies, and they had like their own little thing going on. And then I was like, hey, why don't we start doing what you guys are trying to do, and then what I'm trying to do, but now let's actually just do it. And then we Butters and I was trying to release music for a minute, and then that's when we like linked up with you, and then linked up then with our boy Corey, who was very influential to the beginning parts of the network and like how we looked and stuff like that. So I mean, like, shout out to Corey, and for how the beginning parts of how we looked, because I mean, real talk, the beginning, it was I know the music DFW was cool, but what really made us start popping was how we could just take, like, you could focus all your stuff. Like, Corey was just so good with editing photos, and then,
exactly.
Yeah,
big shouts out to Corey, man. Most def.
Like
that professional image was a big thing about like
professional
being, like,
image. That's all
local. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of local artists don't really have that, and that's like what you and Butters always had was like the look. You know what I'm saying? The sound too, obviously, but the image where you're like, okay, your stuff's releasing on a platform that everybody can access. You know what I'm saying? You're not dropping links to people. You're like, go get it yourself type of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You got photo shoots, you got video shoots, you got concerts, all kinds of things like that.
And some of our concerts would be dumb lit.
Fire.
You already know.
Fire.
Like, as much as I say I hate it, whenever you would hear those first like few notes on PGC,
fire,
everybody goes crazy.
Fire.
Loved it.
Most def. So then, we kind of had our thing going here, right, with the group and all that. And then February came along, and we weren't even planning on dropping a project. You guys just had like a 5-piece that you kind of were just sitting on, and ended up dropping that. That was the CMDB EP network project. So y'all dropped that, and then y'all moved out to LA the same month, the same day.
Yeah, the same day.
That day.
It actually officially uploaded to Apple Music and Spotify and everything when I was getting on the plane. So I got to
listen to it.
I got to get the first probably few.
There you go.
10 streams of every song, because I loved it. Like, honestly, that's one of the most slept on projects for local artists, especially in this area. And I really feel like our whole network stuff was an amazing thing. And
cold.
It was cold.
Exactly.
Cold.
All right, so now out there in LA, tell us a little bit about, like, just kind of how that's changed for you creating music and everything like that. What's the move done for you as an artist?
The move has made me be around so many dope musicians and so many dope people. And, like, I need everyone to stop what they're doing right now. If you listen to this interview and if you don't mess with me as an artist, that's cool. But you gotta mess with Elliot Trent. Elliot Trent is the GOAT. And watching him and Dish work on music has like inspired me to just be around such great people and just such great musicians. And it's so intimidating. It's real talk intimidating to be around such greatness. And I just need everybody to get hip. Like everyone to get hip. You feel me?
Absolutely, man. Elliot Trent, make sure you go check him out. Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Tidal, Google Play, Amazon Music. Gentleman's Club album still going crazy, 1.5 years old. Just got the feature on Trippie Redd's project, Love Letter to You 3. Make sure y'all go stream Diamond Mines. Trippie Redd, Elliot Trent, and Tory Lanez. Fire. Good music, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all go check that out. So let's talk a little bit about, being out there in LA, being, in this music industry and everything like that. Let's talk about, kind of just like the highs and lows. What's good about being involved in music and what's bad about being involved in music?
So the hardest thing about being involved in music is that I feel like when you tell someone that you're involved in music, it now then becomes a talent show from then and there about everything. And like, I feel like you can't even just like show someone some stuff for like, oh hey, casually listen to my things without getting critiqued on, or like if you listen to your own stuff a lot, like you get like then you're narcissistic, and it's just like that's annoying. I love the creative aspect of being able to create with so many different people. Like, just there's a vibe when you get to go to a studio. And even with people that you've never met, that you have no idea where they came from or anything, and then like you guys can just start, you get this verse, or like let's collaborate on like writing some stuff right here, right now. And it's amazing. I love it so much.
Most stuff. So let's talk a little bit about kind of like locally, coming up and really trying to make a name for yourself where you're from. What do you feel about, just like how the local music scene works and kind of like artists, and fans working together to kind of put people on and really get people in the right, right fan base. What do you feel about like local artists?
All right, so I'm not gonna front. Like, I'm gonna feel a little bit cocky right now. I took so much of the early heat for about it not being cool to do music. Like when I was growing up in high school, that was whack. Breslin, you can't rap. You won't ever be a rapper. You won't be successful in music just because of where you're from. And like, it was always about like, you can't do something because of where you're from. And then it was hard because Ohio stuff, it was like, like, dang, that might be true. Like, but then I started seeing like the Black Keys. I figured out they were from here, and I was like, oh, like that's cool. Like they're successful, and like I know of them before I was into music. And then Kid Cudi being from here, like that really made me think, oh, it's more possible.
Exactly.
Because I was like, I was in Shaker Heights before. Like I was a boy. My grandfather lived in Shaker Heights, and then like in these streets, and someone who roamed these streets was noticed by Kanye West, who was like, one of my favorites. And I'm like, I can do anything.
Yeah.
And then 21 Pilots being from, and then that was like, all right, Alone. And then to see, like I said, Ellie Alone. And then to see, like I said, Elliot Trent do all these great things. Trippie Redd, MGK,
yeah.
Doobie,
Yeah.
who people need to get hip to now.
Most stuff.
And then so like so many of these other super talented artists.
Exactly.
And I was like, it doesn't matter where you're from, and like it doesn't at the end of the day. It's
yeah,
if you make dope stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. That's a big thing. That's kind of like the stigma is hard to kind of overcome. Where it's like, okay, like if you have like fans like locally, like what's it gonna take for you to really like get out there and kind of make a name for yourself, like not just where you're from. And I feel like that's like something that a lot of people like struggle with. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
As far as like inspiration is, is concerned? Who inspires you that you know and love? People around you that are close to you. Who inspires you close to you?
Like people that I know personally.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually made a list of
I like it. Go through it.
the 20 most influential people and I'll name the people on
Well,
the
yeah,
list.
because that leads me to a second. So this is anyone you know and love, but also people you don't know. So go through it all.
I'll name all the people that
just go through
I
it all.
know.
Yeah, okay.
First.
And yep.
All right, so the Josh Girdich, without him in the direction of like, he also helped me realize that you can do anything, because he was from where I was from, and he just got up and moved to New York, just went up and moved to Brooklyn, and
Right.
like that was so cool to me, and it was so just like I just got to do it. Like, you just got to stop talking about it and just do it.
Absolutely.
And then Justin Bradley, met him up at in Akron, my boy. He worked at Rob's with me, Rob's crew. Shout out Rob's. He just really helped me, believe in myself for
sure.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, most of.
And then Elliot Trent, of course, the GOAT, the greatest singer of all time. I'll fight you on it right now.
The G set.
The
The greatest singer of all time. No, the G SOAP. My fault. I'm tripping. The G SOAP.
I don't know what to call him.
Elliot he really is so fire.
But Blue, I don't know if it's Blue Rivers or AKA Blue, AKA Zachary, AKA Joe Cosby, AKA. Just, he has so many names. Also a great man. Butters, of course. Butters is the greatest rapper ever. I know the greatest singer ever and the greatest rapper ever are in my camp, so you can't fight with me on that. And I'll fight you to the, forever.
Definitely.
With my life. Butters is the greatest rapper on this earth.
Yeah, big shout out to Butters, man. Big shout out to Butters, man. Y'all need to get hip to Butters' work as well. Make sure y'all go get that
Facts.
BUDDERS available everywhere. Make sure y'all go check him out. New single out. He's got some work out. Y'all make sure you go mess with the boy for real.
Sean Spina, a father figure in my life after my dad died. He was really been there for me, and his family, just the whole Spina family, Carrie, Drake, Jacob, and Sierra, of course, all of them. Derek Lodrick, the guy I was in the band with, amazing man. Wouldn't be anywhere right now without him with the music stuff. Real talk. And then the final person I know personally is the most influential person. I mean, I still want to do shout outs and stuff to everybody. Just because you're not on the most influential list doesn't mean you haven't helped inspire or change my life in a certain type of way. But Miss Troyer, she was my college algebra teacher in high school and senior year, and she told me I could do whatever I wanted to do when being in that environment, where you're just supposed to go to school and then graduate and then live your life, get married, and that's it. And she told me then I could do what I wanted to do. So then, I was like, I could do this. You feel me?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So who do you take inspiration from, kind of in the media or in music, just people that you haven't met? Maybe they're famous, maybe you just, kind of on a different platform, but who inspires you that you haven't met?
The greatest man on the planet, and I'll fight you over this too, is LeBron James. LeBron James is, if you have anything bad to say about LeBron James, I'll personally throw hands with you. This man he also showed that you can be from anywhere. He's from Akron. And we can argue and say he might or might not be the greatest at whatever he's doing, but ever, but he's at least the best right now. And that just shows crazy. If you can be ranked number 1 in the world at something and you're from 15 minutes away, then why can't you do something, you can be from Kent or Canton or Cleveland or Columbus or anywhere, dog. It doesn't matter where you're from.
Exactly.
And then Kanye. I love Kanye.
Of course.
And Kanye's wilding out and stuff like that right now. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not even get all into the politics part of it, and it's not anything, I don't know. I think he has a good heart with what he's trying to do. He's just doing it in an awful way, and it's ruining his legacy. The But like Kanye just as an influencer for music and just for me to open my eyes and just see different things. Other huge influences, Eminem. Eminem was another early. I haven't really messed with Eminem's music in a while. Like he's been cool, but like he hasn't hit me like he used to hit me. He just I don't know, it's just, but the growing up in a place where you're different and like you want to do something like this type of music, or I ended up doing the same exact thing as he does, but it's like you can't let that get to you.
Yep.
And you just got to be strong, and you just got to be you, and like that's what I'm trying to do.
Most def. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about people in the music industry, things like that. We got a little more content here. Let's talk a little bit about just kind of who do you think is your favorite artists like ever of all times? If you had to give me like 5 or 6, just like all time.
I'm gonna try not to think about it, and then I'll maybe go back on it because this is a tough one. So
absolutely,
in no order. Greatest artist. Okay.
Let's say you can only listen to 5 people ever again.
Oh, okay. I can. That's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Kanye, and like I said, no order. Kanye, Future, Young Thug, James Blake, and I want to go Michael Jackson.
Absolutely. So why James Blake? That's interesting.
James Blake is so groovy. You got it. And it's only like I could listen to 3 of his songs for the rest of my life. And if you aren't hip to Retrograde by James Blake, you need to get hip right now. I'm all about music that you can feel now. Because I'm over music that tells a message. Because, like, you can tell a message and, like, you might think it's the right message. But, like, that I don't want any of that anymore. I think it's more just, like, how music makes you feel. And I want music that just makes you, like, you can feel, like, good.
Exactly.
Or, like, that just makes you feel, like, some type of way where you have to just replay it and listen to a part over and over again. And, like, that's why I love, like, Future and Young Thug so much. Because they're so... like sonically pleasing.
Absolutely.
Like they might not be talking about anything. They might be destroying the youth, and they might bring this bad culture on, I guess, the youth. But at the end of the day, I know you can't go out and do all these drugs and like say you're gonna kill all these people and like things like that. But they sound amazing. So at the end of the day, it's still just like. I just want music that sounds good, and I think that Future and Young Thug sound amazing.
Definitely. So what about, like, lately, like, day-to-day type of thing? Like, right now, who's, like, 5 people that, like, you're listening to them every day? It's, like, they could be new artists, touch back on old ones. Give me, like, 5 or 6 that you're listening to often now.
So, Lil Baby. Lil Baby is the GOAT right now. I throw that word out too much, because the only GOATs are LeBron James, Elliot, Trent, and Dish. But so Lil Baby's amazing. I still listen to Future every day. One of his songs once a day. Who else have I really been listening to? Let me go on my Apple Music.
Go ahead.
My Apple Music's been making me so lazy because I only listen to on my recently added page all the time.
Same.
Roddy Ricch, bro.
Roddy Ricch is fire.
Roddy Ricch.
No one's hip. Get hip. Roddy Ricch, fire, cold.
Him, Dave East.
Dave East is fire too.
Gotta get hip to Dave East.
Dave East is so fire.
Like, stop listening to the radio people. Do some exploring yourself, and you will find some gems out. And you don't gotta look hard.
Don't stop listening to my radio though.
Yeah, don't stop listening to that.
Because I get you hip. But stop listening to mainstream radio.
But like I'm saying, like I go out of my way for 2 seconds, and I find Roddy Ricch, and I'm like, wow, this is one of the best things I've ever done.
Absolutely.
The new Metro Boomin tape is hard. I was disappointed with the Takeoff tape, but that's a different story for another day. I've been listening to Doobie bands. Doobie's so hard. Timid's hard. They're my boys from Jacksonville. Benji Baby. Cool Kids. So hard.
Fire. Shout out to AK, man. Big shouts out to AK. The homie.
Oh, that song is hard.
All right, so let's talk about you personally. Let's get people to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
What's 5 things you can't live without?
My medicine. my natural medicine I take every day.
Hey, it's legal there.
Hey, it's
legal there. It's legal there.
Hopefully here soon it will be legal.
I'm praying.
All you Reds, you got to vote. To make it too much of a red state, but my natural medicine.
What's that?
Blue Gatorades, the cool blue.
Blue
like
Gatorades,
like the dark blue. I could drink that forever. That could be my only.
This is such a good list already. You gotta give me 3 more.
Real talk, Apple Music.
Yeah, most stuff.
Apple Music is people don't realize that they have any song ever. I mean, Apple Music, Spotify, Panda, like just streaming
services. Yeah.
Like
Fire.
You have any song, and now I don't even take advantage of it. I have every video. I didn't even realize that I have every video I could watch to, and then so those 3 things. I don't know. See, I feel like I'm a really simple guy.
Right.
So, when I'm really chilling out, I love my PlayStation. I love that's one of my favorite things to do with people.
Yeah.
Just playing PlayStation, and then I don't know what the last one is. I really gotta think real fast.
Go ahead. You got time.
All right, so Gatorade.
The medicine.
Medicine's first and foremost.
Yeah, most.
No, I'm joking. But Apple Music. What was the other one?
PS2.
The PlayStation, and chapstick. Oh, how could I forget about chapstick? Everywhere I go, I got a chapstick on me. Sometimes I might have 2. In my bag right now, I got 2 things of chapstick. I got the egg and I got a chapstick.
Fire.
You cannot.
You sleeping on the egg, man. The egg is cold.
You know what? Chapstick's number 1 over medicine.
Word.
Because I will turn around and go back in the crib if I ain't got a chapstick in my right pocket. I have to turn around and go back in the crib. You feel me? Even thinking about my lips being chapped for a second kind of just made me unhappy.
So let's talk about what's your motto or just advice that you try to live by day to day.
Real talk, just be a good person. Just do things. You aren't always going to make the right choice, and some of your choices may only make sense to you, and they don't have to make sense to everybody. But as long as you're doing it, with the best intention, that that's what it is. Just be a good person.
Absolutely.
Because I feel so much why wake up and put bad energy into things?
Right.
There's no need to just wake up and be angry, dog.
Definitely.
That's just so whack to me.
Definitely. Most stuff, I get that. That's for sure. Life tips, man, for real. From the Manic Face.
And just be a good person, and just explore things. Live out of your comfort zone. If you want to get up and get out and do whatever, you don't have to do something that you're unhappy with.
For sure.
You don't have to do anything that makes you unhappy.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying quit your job and have no plan and things, but you got to work hard for what you want. I'm not just sitting, in LA hanging out the whole time, grinding off other people's, coattails and stuff like that. I gotta you gotta work every day too. You just gotta do things. And I don't know, I feel so many people need to know that they're in control of their happiness.
Definitely.
And you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you gotta you got to get up and move to that tunnel. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Let's talk some opinions real quick.
All right.
We'll get you out of here real quick. I want to run
Okay.
you through what I call my lightning round.
Let's do it.
I'm going to give you 2 artists. They may have a similar fan base, similar style, similar, net worth, whatever. But I'm going to give you 2. You got to pick one. You got to go quick. You don't get time to think about it. Say when you're ready.
All right. Let's go.
All right. 6ix9ine or Chief Keef?
Chief Keef.
Snoop Dogg or Dr. Dre?
Dr. Dre.
Akon or T-Pain?
T-Pain.
Bryson Tiller or Black?
Black.
Cardi B or Nicki Minaj?
Cardi.
Childish Gambino or Chance the Rapper? 3,
Gambino.
2, 1. All right. Ooh. Famous Dex or Rich the Kid?
Rich the Kid.
Thug or Future?
Oh my God! Don't do this to me.
3, 2,
Future.
1. Young G, not Young G. Jeezy or Gucci Mane?
Gucci.
A Boogie or 21?
Old A Boogie, New 21. Can I choose that?
Migos or Ray Shrimmer?
Migos.
Gunna or Lil Baby?
Lil Baby.
Young Dolph or Yo Gotti?
Oh my God! Come on, Dolph.
Lil Durk or G Herbo?
Herbo, I guess.
I'm solid. That was good. That was good.
I'm.
That was good. I liked it. It was. I threw you on a couple.
See.
I threw you on a couple.
That the Young Thug.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
And-
People hate that one.
It's so.
People hate that one.
Sometimes I'd rather you ask me if I had to choose between, like, my mom and my sister Daylan down than Young Thug and. I'm just joking. No.
Oh man. Well, we're gonna wrap it up now. Manic Face, say goodbye to everybody. Give them all your social media.
It's
Check
been
in.
real. Thank you for everyone that tuned in. I came out here. It is so cold. It was so. I had to go. When I landed, I had to cop a jacket. I'm so mad. I had to buy a whole coat.
Yeah.
A whole coat. And,
Yep.
But yeah, so it's everything is I'm Manic Phase, like I and then M and then MANICPHASC. I'm Manic Phase on Snapchat, IG, Twitter, Facebook, PSN. If you're trying to get that work in 2K, which you probably don't. Right now, I've been playing a lot of Red Dead though.
For sure.
Been playing a lot of Red Dead.
So
when Red Dead Online comes out, people can get that. But in 2K, I'm always the Lakers if you want it or anything. But yeah, hit me up, follow me, listen to the music, watch the video. I'm trying to get it to 3K by the end of the month. Let's keep spreading it. This is so fire. I love how all organic, everybody just keeps sharing it on Facebook, on IG, keep giving me shout outs. Like, I love that. Like it's so cool that you guys feel me and you guys mess with the music, because that's all it is. I'm just trying to make cool stuff that I like, and it's hopefully, wow, that other people like it too.